Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel and a very satisfactory top story for me today personally, and maybe for you guys here on the channel. We'll see. From the Republican Brief, John Durham gets revenge after 3.5 years of Russian investigation. Now you're probably asking yourself, well Buzz, why isn't this all over mainstream media? And I will respond to you by saying, well, because it illustrates exactly what we have talked about for quite some time. The misinformation that is given out by the mainstream media has their own narrative, right? They have their own narrative, and it isn't anything about honesty, truth, or evidence at all. They perpetrated a investigation. They perpetrated a Russian collusion story for 2.5 years, and then they just let it go, just like that. At the end of it, no Russian collusion, and just like that, everything ended, yet they continue to talk about all the things that they acquitted President Trump of, particularly January the 6th, and of course the FBI finding no cooperation or coordination by these groups that went into the Capitol at all. And yet here we are still talking about it today, not as effective because many of the things that the Democrats are trying to do aren't working. So let's go ahead and get into this story. The FBI investigation into former President Donald Trump's relationship with Russia is finally proceeding to trial in a case that has been ongoing for 3 years. Yes, because we have continued to pursue this to get the absolute details of everything that has been going on. Assigned in 2019 by the Attorney General William Barr to pursue the allegations of misconduct by the FBI and intelligence community in their Russian investigation, dubbed Crossfire Hurricane, Durham has secured indictments against 3 individuals, one of whom, Michael Sussman, was acquitted at trial earlier this year. So he was completely acquitted because, of course, information he may have, associations and connections with the FBI, but more importantly, connections with Democrats, so forth and so on. In another case, former FBI attorney Kevin Kleinsmith admitted to altering a document used in the application process authorizing continued surveillance against a former Trump campaign aide. So these individuals have always been emboldened. They continue to be emboldened. They continue to pursue Trump, if for no other reason than to get his name in the headlines, to paint a dark cloud over the president, to create suspicion, negativity, and just disparity of the man, all for the sake of maintaining their control, basically, in power. So then, of course, we have Igor Dichenko, a Washington-based think tank analyst, was hired by former British intelligence officer Christopher Steele in 2016 to collect information compiled in his now infamous dossier, which included explosive and unproven claims about the former president. So again, we're talking about select individuals with select detailed information with evidence here, all outlining what transpired. You would think, right? Because yesterday we covered this story right here. I can't even mention it because, of course, the video, unfortunately, was set to limited ads. But as we've discussed before, I'm okay if I'm covering a story that I think is that important. However, I find it incredibly ironic that now that we're in the midterms, a lot of our videos, and it isn't just me, guys, it's across the board with many other creators, that we are facing this hysteria, basically by YouTube, who are terrified by the mainstream media, terrified of cancel culture, terrified of wokeness, if for any reason they should be called out by them, because we've already seen what they resort to, right? We have covered these protesters and what they're willing to do. So that's why they're terrified. That's why these industries and businesses are terrified, because they know these woke individuals, who probably most of them don't have jobs or work, are willing to go to these locations and, do certain things if they get agitated enough. And that's what they're terrified of. And this is why these stories are often suppressed or not discussed, because, of course, we know their argument continues to be they want to make sure that across the internet there isn't any misinformation and disinformation. We must make sure that everything is above board. We have fact checkers and so forth and so on. But we already know that those individuals all consist of the left. This is why we have talked about this before. This is why hate speech would not work. This is why this absurd program by this individual institution here would not have worked, because it's a matter of interpretation, right? What is hate speech? It's too nebulous. We don't know what that would be, other than the left suggesting being the arbiters of all things now, even the media, who's trying to maintain all this control. They're the arbiters. They're the ones that would be in control in it. They're the ones that would be making the calls. So individual conservatives or the right or independents or Green Party or or any groups of individuals outside of the left would be considered far right. It's really quite extraordinary. Libertarians, for example, was who I was trying to think of there. But nonetheless, congratulations to John Durham. Unfortunately, this story will not make it across mainstream media. It might make it possibly on Fox News at some point, but I think they're probably just waiting for it to all wrap up, because basically this is what the article's about, is wrapping all this up, tying up loose ends. Lots of interesting, detailed information here concerning these groups of individuals that he's able to name that are actual individuals with actual evidence, with all of it right here. It's all here, tangible. The things that the left only talk about when it comes to their misinformation, disinformation, or what the media tries to talk about when they say they know what's going on, because they want you to have the right opinion. They want you to have the right way of analyzing things in life according to their particular doctrine and their outline, their worldview, and this so forth and so on. And as we saw here, and they are suffering right here, as you can see here, painful consequences after new woke policy enrages people worldwide. That's right. Even Tim Pool mentioned that he's talking with his attorneys because he lost a lot of money. People joined his site through PayPal. And of course, as I mentioned the other day, a lot of my voiceover work is also done through PayPal. So if for some reason groups of individuals stop using that, then I would have to go to something else. And of course, we do have other options for that. But nonetheless, it is quite interesting, is it not, that we are here in the midterms, but things have almost kind of settled down a bit. I think the Democrats have realized that they're just going to have to go with their old school, hand-in-glove methodology and tactics to try to get their votes, but they're not doing very well at all. But that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you for the continued support. Believe me, guys, your likes, your shares, and your comments are helping despite what's happening right now in the current climate of YouTube. So your guys' support is greatly appreciated. All the people on New Tech are also doing quite well to help me out. Rumble, BitChute, DTube, Odyssey, thank you guys so very much. And appearing there on the screen, guys, for those of you who are on YouTube, that would be the channel icon appearing right there on the screen. Click on that to subscribe, as well as to get notifications. And I will see you guys in the next video.